He came home angry again, not loud at first. That kind of anger doesn't announce itself. It leaks into the room. You feel it before you hear it. The door closed harder than necessary. His keys hit the counter instead of the hook. His boots stayed on, which meant he wasn't done being mad yet. This time, though, I noticed it immediately. That was new. I felt my body start to react the old way, jaw tightening, shoulders lifting, mind racing ahead trying to predict which version of him I was about to get. Normally, I would talk too fast, explain too much, apologize for things that hadn't happened yet. That usually made it worse. But I had been practicing something new, observe first. So I restrained my mouth, my tone, my face, everything that usually sets him off. I moved slowly, deliberately, like the air itself was fragile. I went to the fridge, grabbed him a beer, brought it to him without a word. I knelt and took off his shoes. I asked how his day was. He looked at me like I was stupid. Bitch, please. The slap came so fast it didn't even hurt right away. It was more shock than pain, like my body needed a second to understand what had just happened. I stood there for a moment frozen. Then I did what I always did. I went to the bedroom and cried. That apparently was the wrong move. The door flew open. He stood there filling the frame, breathing heavy, eyes sharp. Do I need to give you something to cry for? Every cell in my body screamed danger. No, I said immediately, my voice small. I moved toward the closet. It was the only place in the room that felt even remotely safe. I didn't make it. The door was ripped open. His hand was in my hair. I was thrown onto the bed like I weighed nothing. I curled into myself instinctively, arms over my head, knees tight to my chest. Please, I said. Please, no. He was yelling, cursing, words stacking on top of each other so fast they stopped being words and became noise. Pressure, chaos. He pulled me up by my hair, dragging my face toward his. I was afraid. I had always been afraid, but this time, something else showed up. Anger, not blind rage, not panic, something colder, clearer. Earlier that week, a new coach had said something during a session that didn't feel important at the time. It had just floated past me, unnoticed. But under pressure, it came back. If someone can hit you in anger regularly, they do not love you. That wasn't a motivational quote. That was a diagnosis. And the moment I saw it for what it was, something snapped into place. Not emotionally, structurally, like a beam finally locking into position. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't my fault. This wasn't love gone wrong. This was a pattern, and patterns can be broken. When he pulled me closer by my hair, I didn't think. I didn't plan. I didn't hesitate. My body acted before fear could veto it. I drove my elbow into his throat with everything I had. He let go instantly. Surprise does that. I didn't stop there. I struck again and again, not wildly, not screaming, just enough to create space, to create an exit. He collapsed backward, coughing, curling in on himself, crying, actually crying, like a child who had never been told no. I stood there for a second, breathing hard, my hands shaking. Then I stopped. No words, no victory speech, no explanation. I packed my things. Not everything, just what mattered. I walked out and drove straight to my sister's house. She opened the door and took one look at my face and didn't ask questions. She just stepped aside and let me in. When I finally told her what happened, she stared at me for a long moment. Then she smiled. She had been waiting 10 years for this moment. We didn't cry that night. We laughed. We celebrated. Not the violence, but the ending. We stayed up too late. We toasted to freedom and passed out on the couch like teenagers. The next morning, over coffee, she asked the question that mattered. What made you finally stand up for yourself? I didn't have a dramatic answer. My new coach, I said. I don't even know his name. He just said something that changed how I saw it. She nodded slowly. That's perfect, she said. Let's find his number so he can teach us both how to stand up for ourselves. And that was it. Not the end of the story, but the end of that chapter. Some moments don't need strength, they need clarity. When you finally see what's happening, the next move becomes obvious. The moment you pause, you regain control.